Our WyoPreps Big School Game of the Week is voted on by you, the fans out there across the state of Wyoming. Takes us to Class 3A, and it's a 1-2 showdown. Second-ranked Star Valley going on the road to take on top-ranked Cody, visiting with the head coach of the Star Valley Braves, McKay Young. McKay, thank you for taking a few minutes to chat with me. I haven't talked with you so far this season, but you guys are off to a good start. How would you describe what you're seeing out of your guys here about halfway through the year?
Well, I tell you what, it's wild that we're already at the halfway point. Man, it just goes by in a flash. It seems like it wasn't that long ago that we were having the same conversation about this same game last fall. So, no, we're a young team. We graduated a lot of really good players last year. Some key returners for sure, but a lot of new faces, and just proud of the work that they put in. Proud that they have made themselves eligible to be in a game like this against an awesome Cody team. So, just been a fun ride. It's always a fun ride. It's always fun to get to know these young men and their families, and this year's been no exception.
Last year, you guys kind of opened some things up. You had the weapons outside. You had a great quarterback. What is Star Valley about this year? As I look at the stats, looks like you're a little more balanced and maybe even a little more back to kind of the run oriented.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look game by game over the season, we've been balanced, both run and pass. I think the one exception might be the Evanston game, where there was just some bad weather and some other factors at play there. But for the most part, we've tried to be balanced, and we know that to compete with somebody like Cody, you got to be able to do it both on the ground and in the air. So, just again, excited about this group, excited about the different ways that they can contribute, and yeah, I don't know. We're still, if we're being honest, we're still kind of finding ourselves a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see just what emerges against Cody on Friday, whether it'll be on the ground or in the air.
Gotcha. Who are some of kind of the key guys that you look at as guys that have to maybe play well to give you a chance in a game like this?
Honestly, I think it's going to come down to our offensive line. I think in the trenches, we need those guys to play really well. That's Cooper Lawson, Jesse Gibson, Clay Merritt, Garrett Carlson, and Kale Roberts. We need those guys to play really well on both sides of the ball, not just on the offensive front. But, Cody, always super well coached in the trenches. They play with great pad level. They play with great intensity. So, again, with as many new faces as there are at the skilled spots for both schools, I think a lot of it's going to come down to line play.
What else do you see from Coach McFadden's squad this year? Or is it just kind of the typical Cody team that you're used to seeing here over the last few years?
I mean, I don't know how they have enough lights on their scoreboard to keep track of the points that they score up there, but tip your hat to what he's able to do offensively. He and I competed against each other for a long time. He was the DC and I was the OC. Had some great battles that way, and then I think it was 2020 he turned to the dark side and came over to the offensive side. So it's fun because I get to steal some of his ideas here and there because he's got a lot of good ones. And but no, he's done a great job offensively with those guys, and Jim does a great job with their defense. So I mean, these are the games that you do this for. It's just it's fun, the chess match, the preparation. I truly feel like both programs make the other one better. It's an iron sharpens iron type of rivalry. I've said that before, and I reiterate it this year. I think we're both good for each other, and hopefully helping these boys become the very best they can be.
What about personnel wise? Are there certain guys you feel like you got to watch out for on that Cody roster, or does it kind of start with Maddox Ball at QB?
Yeah, and we knew he was special last year. Thought he played well a year ago, and he just picked up right where he left off. But he's got weapons, that they've got speed. They've always got speed. And they do a good job of using that and getting guys the ball in space. Really like what he's doing with his H-backs this year. He's got a couple really big H-backs that do a good job for him. Big running back that's a load and also really athletic. So yeah, man, like there's no shortage of athletes in Cody, Wyoming. And they do as good a job as anybody at developing them and a good job in the weight room and those things. And that's evident on the field.
Lastly, you mentioned line play is a key. What else do you stress to your team in terms of a matchup like this?
Honestly, my speech yesterday was just enjoy this week. Like this is one, especially for the seniors. I mean, this is fun. I mean, this is kind of what it all culminates to. And this is what we, in an early morning in the spring when you don't want to get out of bed, or, a long set of on the squat rack. I mean, these are the ones that you do it for. And that's where I go back to kind of the iron sharpens iron relationship that we have with the Bronx. It brings out the best of us, not just in a week where we play them, but year round. And so that was my message to our guys: is enjoy this moment. Don't get so lost in the game itself and in that, but just, this is an opportunity. I mean, it's the WyoPreps Game of the Week. The state's kind of watching. I feel like the 2 times we played last year, we didn't disappoint anybody that tuned into either of those games. One was kind of an offensive fest, and the other one was a defensive fest. And our hope is that we can play the very best that we can, and and understanding that there's a good chance that we hope to see them again down the road. You know what I mean? Like it's a history would tell us that it should be us playing again, or whether that's a semifinal game or a championship game. Who knows how all the the cards fall. But just tell the kids to enjoy the moment, and it's something that the community is going to get excited about. Some of the state, I think, will be excited about.
McKay, as always, bud, appreciate the time. Best of luck on the road Friday night.
Thank you, David. Appreciate all you do for the people of Wyoming.
We continue talking about the fan-voted Big School WyoPreps Game of the Week for football, and it is a 1 versus 2 showdown from Class 3A. A wide margin of votes picking the second-ranked Star Valley Braves at the top-ranked Cody Bronx, and visiting with Cody head coach Matt McFadden. I have not had a chance to chat with you this year, Matt, but obviously you guys are playing well based upon your record, sitting undefeated right now. How would you characterize or describe what you've seen out of your team first half of the season?
Well, we lost we got a lot of new starters. Lost a big crew last year and a great crew of seniors, and we knew these kids were talented. They just kind of I don't want to say unproven, maybe unproven to the rest of the state, but we'd seen them at practice. We'd seen them in the second half of a lot of games, and knew we were going to be fast. Knew we had some talent, and really just unknown of how that was going to come together. And I think the thing I've been most pleased and impressed with this group is the leadership of those seniors, kind of really just melting this team together. So they've done a great job.
Is there anything that you've been pleasantly surprised by with your group?
Yeah, just that piece that I mentioned. Like I said, we lost some leaders, and these kids just stepped right into it. And it's amazing about all sports, and football in particular. It seems like that those senior years, those kids just grow up and mature so much. So very, very pleased with the growth that way. Their leadership and maturity in particular, just they've done a great job.
Maddox Ball got thrown in a tough spot last year, had to finish that semifinal game. Then a week later, you're in a championship. What have you seen in his development now as the full-time guy since the end of last year?
You couldn't have had a more intense start, I guess, the baptism by fire. And just been super pleased with him. He, funny enough, like his first game or 0 week, I think he was more nervous in 0 week than he was in the state championship. And but he knows the teams that it's his team now, and he's embraced that, and he's taken that over, and he's kind of found his what his strengths are, and he's playing really, really well. He's super efficient. He's a threat both the run, and he's very underrated, or he's a threat to throw, obviously, but he's a very underrated runner as well.
Good.
And just growing. I mean, he's really a student of the game, and he's just really grown a lot in that way.
Not to overlook anyone, but are there other guys that have stepped into different roles that maybe you weren't quite sure what you were getting? I mean, you did say that you've seen a lot of these guys in the second halves or underclassmen games, but is there somebody that just has opened your eyes maybe a little more, or somebody else on the staff?
Yeah, I think as a player, Connor Moss, he's a senior. He was a guard last year. We kind of moved him to a kind of a pseudo tight end, fullback spot position, and he's just embraced it. He's playing really really well on the offensive side, and the defensive side as well. Just he improved his speed and really worked on some things. Embraced his role as a leader. Has grown up a lot that way, and yeah, he's just done a terrific job. I think Connor, we got another guy, Ben Hogan, comes in, provides just a lot of juice as a linebacker and a quarterback who plays some spot quarterback play. Jacob Ball, senior wide receivers, having a great year. Logan Class, there's a number of them they've just kind of all collectively stepped up a little bit, which is what you want from your seniors. So I've been very happy.
Here you are, big game. Gee, Star Valley and Cody playing in a big game. That's nothing new in the last decade. How much do you look forward to something like this?
I do. I think our whole staff does. We appreciate what Star Valley does and how well coached they are, and I think the competitor in you just loves that. You want it, brings out your best, and we know what we're going to get from them. They're going to be a physical team. They're a big team. They're always well coached and disciplined, and you're going to have to beat them. And I think that's probably the most attractive part. Like a lot of times in high school football, teams lose the game, and Star Valley won't do that. You have to beat them, and that's obviously not an easy task. So I love it. The prep is easier in a sense that to get motivated, but it's more prep. It's one of my favorite games of the year. This and rivalry games definitely are my two favorite games.
What are you seeing when you see McKay's bunch?
Oh, they're huge. They're always big. They're big. They're big, and it's not like they're sloppy big. They're big kids. They're athletic kids. There's a million of them, and very, very well coached. Super disciplined. Like I mentioned before, they're not going to lose a game. You're going to have to go out there and beat them. So they do a great job at what they do, and it's going to be a huge task for us.
So in a game like this, where you guys know each other so well, what does it come down to for your team? What do you kind of preach, whether it's leading up to the game during this week or before the game Friday night? What do you really preach to your team?
I think for us, it's going to be, you've got to win one-on-one battles, and you're not going to win every one. The ones you lose, you got to have a short memory, and the ones you got to look forward to the ones you're going to win. And it's going to be 4 quarters. It's going to be a physical football game, and you're going to, it's why you play. It's really why you play. So, we've had some games where maybe the starters were out early in the second half. This won't be that case. This is going to be a 4-quarter game for both sides, and extremely physical. And you're going to have to dig deep. You're going to be tired. You're going to be sore. And the team who can deal with that mental toughness aspect, I think is going to win.
Because you've blown a lot of people out, does that concern you? Your guys actually playing 4 full quarters, maybe for the first time this year?
No, would I rather not blow people out? No, No, I think the way we practice and the way we condition our kids, we've prepared for that. We do need to be ready for it, and for some of these kids that will be new, but that's the reality of it. The other side of the coin, I guess, is that they're fresh, right? So, they're ready to go 4 quarters. They're looking forward to it. So am I.
Well, thank you so much for the time as always. Best of luck on Friday. Hopefully we'll chat down the road.
Cool. Appreciate it. Thank you.